Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today it's trigger warning. I'm going to be talking about self-harm and cutting and stuff of that nature. So before you watch this video, it may be triggering to some, so just be cautious. I don't want to trigger anybody at all. So let's start off with what textbook-wise they consider the definition of self-harm. It says self-harm, also known as self-injury, is defined as the intentional, direct injuring of body tissue done without suicidal intentions, although there is a possibility that a self-inflicted injury may result in life-threatening damage. The most common form of self-harm is using sharp objects on one's skin. Other forms include burning, scratching, hitting body parts, interfering with wound healing, excessive skin pricking, hair pulling, the ingestion of toxic substances or objects. There's many different ways of self-harming. It's obviously the intent of hurting yourself. There's many motivations as to why someone would self-harm. They use it as a coping mechanism to provide them with temporary relief of intense feeling, such as anxiety, depression, stress, emotional numbness, or essential failure. Self-harm is often associated with the history of trauma, including emotional and sexual abuse. Self-harm is most common in the ages between 12 and 24. However, self-harm is more common in females than in males, with the risk being 5 times greater in the 12 to 15 year range. Childhood self-harm is rare, but it has been going up since the 80s. Self-harm can also occur in the elderly population. The risk of serious injury and suicide is higher in older patients. Well, older people, I should say. A common belief is that self-harm is for attention, seeking attention behavior, but that's really not the case. Many people that self-harm tend to hide it from others because of feeling guilt of their behavior. With me, I know when I self-harm, when I cut or burned, I would definitely make my best effort to hide it, even if it was in the summer, wear long sleeves, try to wear a lot of bracelets, or if I self-harm, I also cut my legs, so I would wear pants, not really wear shorts. And now the scars are kind of dull, you can't really see them on my legs anymore, but it used to be pretty dominant. Let's see, I'm trying to see what else I wrote. So for me, my self-harm, I didn't do it necessarily out of guilt or punishment or anything along those lines. I kind of did it because it gave me like a rush of adrenaline. It made me feel very alive to see myself bleeding. I also, when I was in more of my manic states, when I cut, I would feel like I was getting rid of the bad blood, that it was coming out, a release of emotion. People who self-harm could be triggered by many things. Triggers can be anger, shame, high stressful situations, traumatic events. Some people can hear voices in their head telling them to cut themselves and not even realize that they're doing it. Self-harm behaviors are not the same as suicidal behaviors. Individuals who see a way to end their current distress or emotional pain often attempt suicide, but people who cut or burn or otherwise are attempting to cope with the world around them. They're not trying to end their lives. They're just trying to not feel so numb or not feel the pain that they're feeling anymore. They're trying to help themselves. I mean, in my opinion, at least, that's what I choose to believe. However, some people who engage in these behaviors also contemplate threat or attempted suicide. They are also engaged in dangerous behaviors such as binge drinking, drug use, risky or unsafe sex. Because self-injury acts are considered to be a coping skill, learning new coping skills can help eliminate the compulsion for harming oneself and thus reduce the occurrence of suicidal thoughts or impulses. This I don't think is necessarily the case for everybody. Like, I'm not saying everyone who cuts does risky and impulsive and negative behaviors, but that's, I don't know, from reading up on it, sorry, reading up on it, that some of those definitions that was given. There's also a lot of therapy to help with self-harm. It can help people develop other coping mechanisms to address the emotional pain that they're feeling. A therapist who specializes in treating self-harm will work with the individual to discuss their feelings, identify the source of the emotional pain, and develop strategies to manage and reduce that pain. Coping mechanisms that a therapist may suggest could be painting, drawing, writing, listening to music, writing a journal, ripping up the paper of what you're feeling, taking a hot bath, hot shower, squeezing or throwing ice cubes, I read is one of them. Visiting a self-help chat room, I heard, is another one as well. Exercising, punching a pillow. You also can learn about meditation, mindfulness, creative expression, and also to learn what your triggers are to help you for the future so you don't act on impulse. For me, a lot of my cutting was definitely done on impulse or done when I was in a manic state. I, at one point, burned myself with the lighter, and I was trying to make a heart with the lighter on my wrist. And I didn't even realize what I was doing until my husband came into the room, like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm making a heart." Like, it was nothing. So my arm, if you can see, well, no, you can't really see in here. I have, let's see, I have cuts up my arm, but I use my tattoos to cover it. So I think they did a pretty good job of that. So I think it did a pretty good job of that. For me, I had a slip up the other day because I was feeling stressed out, and I regret that instantly. I regretted it. It's not something that I'm proud of that I did. I just want people to know, if you are doing that, there's ways to cope and to deal with it, and other things to do than mutilate your body and hurt yourself, because you don't deserve to be hurt. You don't deserve to be in pain. You deserve to be happy. And it just saddens me to know that there's so much hurt in this world, when we should look at every day as a new beginning. Or at least that's what I'm trying to do now, is to look at every day as a new beginning. Well, for me, my self-harm was a gradual thing. It started in the beginning of college when I felt lonely and depressed, and it started then. And then I didn't do it for a while until depression kicked in again, and then I started doing it again when I started becoming manic. I tried cutting myself with the beer cans, with anything I can get my hands on. And I'm lucky that my husband was there to support me through all of that, and with his help and his support, I'm able to continue on the right path. Sometimes I do have my slip-ups, but in all, I'm doing a lot better. I know this video was a lot of rambling. I apologize. It wasn't intent to be so rambly, but I hope that it does help somebody. I hope that some of the coping mechanisms that I gave would help somebody. So that's it for now. So I will talk to you guys later. Peace, love. Mwah.